Done.
There you go.
Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the October 24th, 2022 meeting of the Warren County Human
Didn't think it was
Services
that
Committee. On the agenda today, we just have Department of Social Services. All of the other departments who are part of this committee are working hard, doing a lot of good stuff, but today is just going to be DSS. It's a pretty simple agenda, in my opinion. So I will I'll call the meeting to order at 11:20 a.m. And I'll ask for an approval of the minutes from the prior committee meeting. Supervisor Bruno and Supervisor McGowan on the second. All in favor?
Aye.
Great, thank you. I'll ask, we have a few other board members here. Any privilege of the floor and public comment, anything that anyone would like to ask regarding Department of Social Services? Hearing nothing, we'll move on to the action agenda items as well as new business items. The first is a request, a notice of intent to fill the position. If Chris, if you could walk us through that request number one, please.
Sure. The first one we have is a notice of intent to fill a position of caseworker number 6. It's a grade 16. This would be at step 0, which is the entry base salary of $52,743. This is in our foster care adoption unit, and it's due to a resignation that was effective the 17th of October. Position is mandated and reimbursed.
Thank you. Motion to bring that to the floor, please. Supervisor Frazier, Mr. McGowan on the second. Discussion or questions? Supervisor McGowan.
I always get nervous, but this was a resignation. Did you get an exit interview?
This particular person had some health issues, and the person who vacated this position has expressed an interest in coming back to DSS once she gets through this. But we're hoping she will.
Okay, well, it's good. You know, you went too hard.
Thank you. Anything else? Then I'll call the question. All in favor of approving request number one?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? So moved. Request number two is a request to amend the county budget. Chris, if you could walk us through this.
This is a request to amend the budget to increase revenues and expenditures in the amount of $160,623. This is for state aid that we've received for Code Blue services in Warren County.
Motion to bring that to the floor. Supervisor McGowan, Supervisor Bruno on the second. Questions, comments? Anyone? One, go ahead, Mr. McGowan.
Yes. Mr. Ansett, or Commissioner. The Code Blue. Now, does this money, do we distribute that money?
Yes, we bring the money in from the state and then we disperse it as it's spent, as we use the facility, which is Open Door Mission in Glens Falls this year.
Because I've heard rumors that the Code Blue was not going to be as intense as it has been in the past.
Well, we did have some issues trying to retain Code Blue services through Open Door Mission. We did work those out. So they will be the same exact services. There won't be any less services offered. They'll be the same as last season. And we're hoping to maybe work on a more permanent long-term solution. We do have a couple things going on behind the scenes. We're working with Salvation Army as well to try to maybe find a more permanent solution to our Code Blue in Warren County. Something that's going to be long-term that we can count on every year without having to negotiate with an entity that might not want to do it every year. So that's what we ran into this year. but they are going to do it, so we're fine now.
That was nicely put, so that would be a great goal that we can reach for, because it is a needed service, especially on our colder evenings, and I hate to hear that we have so many homeless people looking for people, but the cold blue is a good thing, and the open door mission for meals. I'm an annual contributor to also, because I think it's a needed thing. So thank you for working out those details, and we could squash those rumors.
You're welcome. I should also, I'd be remiss if I didn't mention Nina Mastriani, who's the deputy commissioner. She really worked on that a lot. So there was a lot of back and forth, a lot of negotiating, but we got it settled in the end.
Please reach out and from all of us, thank you for, because like I said, I was really disappointed to hear we had there could have been a possibility of some issues there. So thank you.
We would have got it resolved one way or another, but in the end, we're going to be at open door again, which will be good.
Awesome. Thank you.
Supervisor Bruno.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'm a little curious, not a little lot curious. Maybe you can't answer this, but when Open Door took possession of the building they're in now, and we're developing that, Code Blue was one of the primary focuses, if you will, renovating that building. And I'm curious as to what happened. What I'm getting at is, at the time, again, it was a major focal point, up for lack of a better word. They had this Code Blue there, and they were talking about all the beds they had, this and this and that. So like I said, maybe you can't answer it. Maybe it's not a fair question for you. Maybe I need to ask them, but I'm curious what happened.
Yeah, I don't think I can directly answer for them. I don't know all the decisions that get made behind the scenes there, of course, because we just work on specific issues with them. I know that one of the things that they were providing were a homeless shelter and Code Blue. And we really don't know why they didn't initially want to do it this year. They did have a couple of different reasons, which I couldn't really figure out to be reasons that were legitimate, but I don't know. Again, maybe behind the scenes there's things going on that I don't know about. I know they have had some issues with leadership there over the last year. They're on their third director, so maybe they're going to move in a different direction now and tighten things up a little bit.
It was Kim Cook was the director at the time.
Yes.
I'm sure we were there. And again, it was a major point with her for developing that facility. So
Yeah.
Thank you for your input.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Yeah, since Kim Cook left the organization, they had an individual in for, I think it was 4, maybe 5 months, and now they're on to a new director. And I'm not speaking for them, but I think that that had something to do with the change and everything.
So it was,
Thank you.
like I said, it was a major point for their development. So I'm very, very surprised and curious.
Yep.
What transpired, but thank you.
Yeah.
Let me call the question then. All in favor of approving request number 2, please. Say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? So moved. Thank you. And request number 3, Chris, is a request for transfer of funds. If you could walk us through that, please.
Yeah, we're requesting to move some funds from regular salaries to overtime salaries in the amount of $110,000. And also to part-time salaries of $40,000.
Any questions for to the floor? McGowan, do I have a second? Frazier, thank you. Questions or comments with number 3? McGowan.
Was this overtime shortages or?
A lot of this can be attributed to CPS on call. And occasionally when we do have some work that needs to be covered, when we have a vacancy, we will have someone do a little bit of overtime to make up that work.
Thank you.
Stay current.
Any further questions? Let me call the question. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? So moved. Thank you. Discussion items, Commissioner, if you could, address the, monthly report and activities update.
Yeah, I think that was previously distributed via email to everyone. I did have one other item that I'd sent out. Supervisor Sieber had requested some correspondence from me prior to this meeting regarding recruitment, retention, morale, and professionalism at DSS. So I did prepare a report and I sent that out to everyone. Or I sent it out to Supervisor Sieber and to yourself, and I believe that you distributed that to other Board of
Did anyone
Supervisors.
receive that email that was sent out at some point last?
Sent out twice?
I think I sent it out twice because I have.
No, I didn't see it.
Yeah, I want to make sure that people got it. So, okay, thank you very much, Chris. And it was
There's
a
only-
very in-depth report too, please.
I think there's only one other thing that I would add to the overtime piece is that we do have to pay quite a bit of overtime when people are doing trainings because they have to travel to Albany. So we have additional there too. So there's really 3 areas that we get additional overtime from on a pretty consistent basis. Hopefully, the overtime towards training will start to dissipate a little bit because we are really getting well staffed right now. We do have some new people that are in trainings, but hopefully over the next few months, we'll see that go down a little bit.
Thank you. Anything else for Chris? Good afternoon. Oh, good morning still. Great. Good morning, Julie. If you could highlight or share any information that we should know about with the monthly financial report, please.
After the third quarter, we're still in pretty good shape, and still anticipating coming in under budget. Probably not by a lot, but still under budget. And our revenue has been coming in pretty consistent, so I don't have any concerns there as well.
Yeah, Supervisor Leggett.
Thank you. Julie, are the point fours looking good for the rest of the year? Close right now.
Yes, once we get that code blue money in. Because we've had to pay like some hotels and things, so we've kind of brought Peter to pay Paul, and when that code blue money comes in, we'll be flush again in the 400.
Any other questions or comments? I thought it was brought up during the Office for the Aging meeting that the heat home energy assistance program begins on Tuesday, November 1st. Is that correct? I think, yeah, whatever November 1st is.
Second,
Uh,
either the 1st or the 2nd.
okay.
Have a calendar.
Anything else? Any privilege of the floor, public comments? Do I have a motion to adjourn? Supervisor McGowan and Supervisor